Wow. I can't hear you for some reason. Wait.
There's a reason because I
I
muted my
hear
mic.
I hear you now.
Yes. When I unmute my mic, I usually get heard better than when I mute my mic.
It's a great
Shalom
movie.
Lachai Rabid.
Shalom Aleichem. I love the flag in the background. It should be a segula.
Amen. Yes, it would be very nice. I was playing with a it's called Suno AI.
The
It's an
song,
A
the song
yeah,
creation.
that makes
Yeah,
music. I've been having way too much fun with that thing. And
hysterical.
it is. I mean, like I honestly think if I hate the idea, but I think we're gonna get to a point where you're just gonna have AI like as your private musician making music for you, as opposed to like listening to songs other people listen to,
Right, right.
which I think is going to be incredibly destructive to society
Add it to the list. Add it to the list.
of things destroying society. How was your Purim? What'd you do?
So on Purim, we had like a family event, and it was actually
Really?
like on my birthday.
Your
So
birthday's on Purim.
it fell on Tinus Esther, so I figured it was close enough where I could celebrate it on Purim.
Your
Um,
your birthday is Tanis Esther.
My English birthday.
Oh, who cares about your English birthday? What's your Hebrew birthday?
Ina Malchusadina.
Dina the Malchus. What's your
Um,
Hebrew birthday?
Yud Tes Adar. It's actually probably like today.
Yutes Adar
What's
would be
today?
like today. Yeah, what is today?
How crazy would that be if we're learning on my birthday?
You have to give us a today is Yutes Adar.
Get out.
Today that's what Chabad says.
It's literally my birthday today. Oh my gosh, it's only like 2 hours left. I should have been celebrating since last night.
You should be giving out brachas on your birthday. You didn't know this?
I heard about giving out brachas. It's a big
It's a
segula.
big Indian that's the Rebbe started talking about. People were very unhappy. It's one of the controversial things that the Rebbe did was encouraging Orthodox Jews to celebrate their birthdays.
Well, I'll tell you, instead of giving a bracha, I'll tell you something I've been thinking about, which is because it's also my parsha, the Kisisa, the Egel, and I've been thinking about whether or not I think I need an Egel to communicate with God. Like, do I need an intermediary? In other words, I'm trying to get in the mindset of, like, I think we kind of think of of the Egel as this like very like obscene thing that is idol worship. And I was thinking about it just on a level of like, we don't really know exactly what or who God is exactly. And it's very overwhelming. And it's like, it's beyond all comprehension. And I was thinking, an intermediary actually might be nice. Like it might be useful to have an intermediary to talk to this beyond figure.
Yeah.
That's my Dvar Torah on my birthday. Like trying to think about where the Jewish people were coming from, and then realize maybe my own version of God is not really adequate.
How much Rabbi Weinberger do you listen to?
It's so funny that you just said that. It's so crazy you just said that because
Why?
this idea stemmed from a podcast I heard with Rabbi Weinberger. He was talking about what he thinks about when he prays.
Yeah.
And I was shocked by what he said. And that is actually what spurred this entire process. I cannot believe you said that.
No, his Rebbe says very shocking Hasidic things about how you should think about God. Like Ladin, he says things that like if Chabad were to say it, the Litvaks would lose their mind. They already did lose their mind.
Yeah.
But no, like Hasidus plays with these ideas in ways that rationalists and stuff are very uncomfortable with. And Rabbi Weinberger because he's at YU, and he's relying on his Rebbe. He's relying on someone who, before all these controversies, said
Yeah.
things, and he's like, the Rebbe said it, so the Rebbe said it. I love how Hasidish Rabbi Weinberger is.
He's amazing. And hi, Daniel. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. And before we get to the boring stuff, I'll add something for Daniel since he's here, which is so Rabbi Weinberger, who's this like very,
he's Mashkiach Ruchani at least.
Very mainstream. In a way, he's very mainstream, meaning in terms of his seriousness of like religiosity. And basically, he said when they asked him what he thinks about when he prays, he said, "I think about like the infinite oceans and skies and the infinite of And then he said, "I think about my Father's smile and my Father's warmth." And I was like, that because that is already like heretical. To think about.
No, so you haven't heard Rabbi Weinberger say what was the most shocking thing he said is, if you need, in order when you're davening, right, you're supposed to daven like an Eved Lifnei Melech, right?
Yeah.
He says, so just like Isaiah had a picture of a Gibor and a old man, right? You what you can do is have the picture of a tzaddik who's like a melech, and think you're standing in front of him when you're davening.
Right.
When he said this, I was like, oh my God, how did you not get kicked out of YU?
I mean, if you want to bring it into the rabbinic literature, into the Talmud, you really could quote that the tract in Brachos, what it talks about that they said that you should view God, you should fear God as much as you fear man. And the response from the students were, isn't that like heretical? And the response from, I think it's Rav Yochanan, he's like, it should be that you should have that kind of fear for God. So
yeah,
it really is in the Talmud. It's not like a made up thing. When I think about
it. What is it? Rabbi Akiva was dorish to eaten in the Torah until he got to
no,
Davek et Elokem. Yeah, V'dav kabo. Yeah, V'afta et Hashem Elokecha l'dav kabo. Right. And what was his answer?
You cleave to Talmidei Chachamim. Right? Is that his answer? Right. To rabbis. Fascinating.
Yeah. It's. I mean, you're talking to a Lubavitcher. I have a picture of the Rebbe up over there, and I have a picture of the Yanuka up over here.
This is I didn't know the Yanuka was Lubavitch. I didn't know that.
The Yanuka is my candidate for the next Rebbe of Lubavitch. Other people might not be as happy about that idea as I am, but
interesting.
He certainly, let's put it this way, on Yud Tes Kislev he goes to Kfar Chabad.
Got it. Okay, that's all you need to know.
On Yud Tes Adar he comes to Donnie's house.
To my birthday celebration, of course. Of course.
No, give us brachas. No, you stingy.
So my blessing to you, Jacob, and to everyone watching is that that you should have a lot of patience in your life. I've been thinking about patience today. You should have a lot of patience through everything. Challenges, through good times, bad times. You'd be blessed with patience.
Amen.
There you go. But now we're gonna get to Daniel. Now we're gonna get to the boring stuff.
What do you mean boring stuff? Are we on Ches Amud Beis?
Let's do Ches. Let's start from the beginning, Ches Amud Aleph, because it really basically what we're gonna do right now. I think this is basically the perfect picture. If you want to know what the Talmud is, this is the perfect time to tune in. If you want to know how boring it is, so basically,
it's so horrible. Why are you mamtzi laws?
I'm not saying boring in a bad way. Boring maybe in a good way. It's boring. It's really like technical, where we have a state. We basically have a argument between the rabbis and between Rabbi Meir, and the argument is that when you have a case of what do you call it? Motzi Shemra.
Yeah.
Right? So you have a case of when someone is saying that his wife was not a virgin.
And she
right?
was.
And she was, right. No, he assumed the wife was not a virgin and she.
No, so the question is he lying or not?
Correct. So,
right?
So Rabbi Meir says that you need to have, what do you call it? Three witnesses, three judges, and the rabbis say 23.
Right.
Okay.
Because you might end up with the dinei nafashos.
Well, now there's an eight-way machlokas of viewing this. So there's going to be 8 approaches to explaining what is this argument between Rabbi Meir and the rabbis. It's going to give you 8 different approaches. Okay. So the first one, so says the Gemara, is there dinei nefashos mahav? Like what is the you need 23 when we're talking about life and death issues. This is not a life and death issue. So why is it 23? So Amar Ula b'chosh laz. It says we're actually nervous that word is going to get out. Wait a second. I think
word is going to get out that maybe she's that she was mizaneh, and that then people will hear, and they will witnesses will hear, and they will remember, oh, we saw her and warned her regarding a certain thing, and then they'll come and she'll be found to actually be guilty and be put to death.
Correct. Yeah. So Rav Meir Savar. So the Rav Meir says we don't suspect that there's going to be that Adim are going to, like, witnesses are going to hear about it and then come in and testify that she was not a basula, she was not a virgin. The rabbi said we are suspect of this.
So that's number one opinion of what is going on between Rabbi Meir and the Rabbanan.
And that's Ula's opinion of the argument.
Okay.
Now we go to Rava. Rava has a different opinion. Rava Amar Kuli Amalaz L'Chashinan. Everybody holds you do not need to suspect that there's going to be a gossip train. They're arguing about whether or not you have to sort of be worried about the honor of these judges. And what's the case? So the husband got 23 witnesses together because he thought he had proof that his wife wasn't a virgin, right? That she actually there was actually witnesses for this. Is it that she slept? I think it's that she slept with someone like after they got engaged. I think that's the main point, right? After they got married.
Okay. So the main point is is he married a basula, right? Supposedly, and then he comes and says, "No, I can divorce her without paying the 200 mea." Right? Because she wasn't a virgin.
Right. Okay.
Right? And then when can that turn into a question of dinei nefashos if after, and this is part of the reason that now we do kiddushin under the chuppah, right? That there's no hefsek.
Oh, because she may have slept with someone after the erusin, after the
erusin, before they were married and they were together.
Right. So for anyone, for everyone listening, so erusin is like the engagement. Let's call it.
There is 2 parts of a Jewish marriage today that used to be done a year apart, and it's no longer done a year apart. Now it's done all under the chuppah.
Interesting. Was there a time when that became? I wonder. Like, was there like a rabbinic or halachic decree where that became a thing?
Do you want to ask the historians, or do you want to ask the rabbis?
Is not going to be the same answer?
the historians will say that it was a result of the Romans raping young women, and during that it was very common that women would get raped. Engaged women would get raped, and then the child would be a mamzer.
Huh. Okay, that's brutal.
Yeah. So that's what a historian would probably say is the reason. We say that the Rabbanan Hiskin.
The question is which Rabbanan though? Is that like at the Kanaz Rabbinic Gershom? Like who? That's the question.
It must have been a Tekana after the Chorban Bayis.
If I ask Yosef this question,
he probably would have the best of answers.
You're right, but the question is with Yosef is when you ask him a question, do you get a 30-second voice note or a 20-minute voice note? That's the question with Yosef.
You might get a 30-second voice note saying, "I would have to spend 2 hours."
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that guy is unbelievable.
Yes, this stream. We're talking Dinei Nefashos. You didn't expect it to go dark. Dinei Nefashos is dark.
Okay, you have to translate for Daniel. You can't just say Dinei Nefashos. Life and death.
Hold on, Daniel isn't a friend of yours from yeshiva?
No, me and Daniel met in the Connecticut estuary.
Hashem Yerachem Aleinu.
Yes. We met at the Connecticut estuary, and then we met again in Chicago estuary, whatever that was called, Midwestuary. So we've seen and I see him. Actually, we spent 3, and he came to Baltimore once. I saw him in Baltimore, so we spent quite a bit of time together.
So, is he Jewish? I don't know. Am I allowed to teach Talmud to Gentiles?
I think halachically you're not allowed to. Actually, isn't that true? Isn't that what they say or something?
Depends what the question is, what exactly you're teaching. But my excuse is anything that I can teach a Gentile isn't considered real Talmud.
Oh wow!
That's my excuse.
No, what does that come from? That you can't teach Talmud to Gentiles. Where does that even come from?
No, there's an issur of teaching Torah to Gentiles in general, because it's considered gezel. You're assisting if a Gentile.
That's funny. Yeah.
If a Gentile learns Torah with the intent and with the idea that they themselves are Israel, right, and that this is their Torah, it's considered gezel.
Interesting. You just have to say the Chezi line. Chezi loves that Gemara that says that anybody who basically doesn't worship idols is considered a Jew. So that's all you have to do.
That's from Megillah. The actual discussion is actually in Sanhedrin, and it says that a Gentile who studies Torah is like a Kohen Gadol in things that pertain to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so the question becomes like, what doesn't? Okay, if we were studying some Taurus or something, right, that there's no pertinence whatsoever, right? Then maybe. Yeah. But right now, I mean, the reason we're doing Sanhedrin mostly is because thing. Should I go? So now let's get struck by lightning.
It's so funny.
It's part of the joke of this stream is the vast majority of the people who will listen to this are Gentiles.
There you go.
The vast majority of people who will listen to this are not Jewish. And it's part of the reason we specifically are actually doing Sanhedrin. Is because Sanhedrin, I don't think anybody can doubt is because it's the part, especially chapter 7, quite explicitly is talking about what laws pertain to Gentiles and what laws don't. So if there's one tractate of Talmud you're safe studying as a Gentile, it's Sanhedrin.
All right. So
explain what Dinei Nefashos is.
Right. So Dinei Nefashos is cases that are litigated.
Capital cases. Capital cases are the most whatchamacallit.
Right.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
it says in the Gospel of John, no Talmud Sanhedrin Chavrusa before has ever made this point.
Yes.
Like it says in the Gospel of John, when they say to the Sanhedrin, "Go and kill this man," and the Sanhedrin replies, "It is against our laws to kill any man."
Really?
Which is the most correct characterization of Judaism that is in the entirety of the Christian Bible.
So John was around for the Sanhedrin, basically?
I mean, depends who you ask, but John depicts the trial of Jesus.
Oh, that was with the Sanhedrin?
Supposedly.
Interesting.
Although I have to say, there's a Gemara which says there was a Jesus that was tried and put to death by a Sanhedrin.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, and vast majority of Jews have never heard. I still haven't finished this book. I have this. Dr. Shara sent me this book. What is it? It's Jesus in the Talmud by Peter Schaefer. It's 229 page PDF I've had open on my desktop for forever. Yeah.
Okay, add it to your list with Ben. You'll go through that next. After Chumash Rashi.
That after Chumash Rashi, so after 120 years, yes, that'll be our next Chavrusa. Yes.
Okay, so we established. Where do we go here? So Ula says that we're choshish for laz. They're arguing about whether or not you're choshish for gossip, whether you suspect gossip. And Rava says, no, everyone agrees you don't expect gossip. You don't suspect for gossip. But here we're dealing with a situation where the husband thought he originally had witnesses to testify, and therefore it would be a capital case. And then it turned out the witnesses ended up flaking out. They didn't show up. So in that case, Rebbe Meir feels that you can downgrade the Sanhedrin from 23 to 3, and the rabbis felt you should keep it at 23. That way, you're not slighting the honor of
even if it ends up being just a case of whether or not he has to pay her ketubah.
Correct.
Yeah, the ketubah is the marriage document, and then the marriage document by Ashkenazim, they still do this for a woman who's a virgin. It's 200 mea, and for a it's for a woman who's been married before, it's 100. My sister's ketubah was actually written for $1 million because there are Sephardim who up to this day actually writes a real ketubah for a particular amount.
Why $1 million? That's a lot, isn't that?
It was a lot. Now my brother-in-law would get off very cheap if he was able to get off with just $1 million. But when they first got married, he wasn't the head of the largest the largest medical group in
Nice.
Yeah, the Western United States.
How do I get in on that ksuba? Maybe I can get a piece of it.
Why do you want a piece of her ksuba? They're not going to get divorced.
Thank
B,
God.
if they do get divorced, Rahman al-Islam, it's not going to go to a beis din. C, he's going to owe her a lot more than $1 million.
Got it. Okay.
He's a surgeon. Yeah, trust me. He's made more than $1 million over the years.
That's amazing. Kol hakavod.
They should, the Bli Ayin Hara, they should make much more.
Okay, Meisvei. Next page. So now we're going to dispute what Rava's claiming. Rava's interpretation of this argument. So we bring a brisa where it says that the rabbis say that if you're claiming money, you have to bring 3 edim. Not 3 edim. You use 3 judges. And if it's a capital case, then it's 23. So it says the Gemara, Bishloma the Rava. This works out well for Rava, who says, Tavu mama b'tchila b'shlosha. If the guy comes and says he's asking for money, then you have 3 edim. Tavu nefashos b'tchila. But if he comes for afilu mama b'eser shlosh. So according to Rava, either way, whether if you come to claim money, then you have 3. If you come to claim dina nefashos, it's 23, even if it gets downgraded eventually to 3, right? But Ula, but if for Ula, who always is going to suspect, oops, my desk is going up. Ula, who's always going to suspect 23, right?
Yeah.
He's always going to suspect gossip. How could he ever agree to 3? So this brisa is shows that Ula's characterization of the argument is not accurate. That's what this brisa is saying.
Yeah.
So the Gemara answers, Amar Rava. This is interesting, by the way. I realized this as I was looking at this before. Rava is now defending Ula's interpretation, which is pretty cool.
It's a Gemara. Yeah.
Yeah. So Amar Rava Aniva Arisha B'Chabura, I and the lion in the group, Targamina, Umanu Rav Chia Bar Avin. So I think when he says the lion in the group, he's referring to Rav Chia Bar Avin. And he says, so the husband came and said that my wife slept with someone else, right? And the father of the woman comes and actually says that's not true, and he has Adam to prove it, that his wife didn't sleep with somebody else, right? So he comes to claim 3. That is the case of 3. So the case of 3 is a completely different case, right? And everyone agrees with it when it's makom nefashos, it's 23. So basically, Rava is doing something very odd. He's defending, first of all, the person he's arguing with, but then he defends it in a real. His defense is a huge stretch, because if the brisa just says, and then he's explaining it he's explaining an extremely far-fetched case, and it doesn't even align, right? You can't read the brisa apples to apples.
Okay, I'm trying to understand Rava's understanding of Ula. Okay, so what Rava says Ula is talking about is that, and I think this is where we got stuck last time, is that the Baal came for the money with Adam.
The Baal came for
money. He was interested in his in not paying the ksuba.
Right.
So we started with 3 judges. And then the father of the bride brings Adam, which nullify the testimony of the first Adam.
Correct.
And that's why it becomes Dine Nefashos, is because that now those Adam could become Adam Zomerman, who are put to death because they were making capital accusations against her. Is that what he's saying?
No, it's never going to capital. Hold on, because.
So I'm gonna read Rabbeinu Artscroll. Im ba av achshav likbot mamon mi Baal. היינו את הקנס של 100 סלעים, דין זה דנן אותו בשלושה, שדין בפני עצמו הוא על ממון. ואינו שייך לדין הקודם. Oh, okay. So when he came for money, it was done with 23. It was done with 23 because there was a possibility that it would become a dinei nefashos, even though he was trying to get money. But
right.
Now that the father is only doing Edim Zomimin, so he's trying to get the punishment for what the other guy tried to do. There's no possibility of Dina Nefashos.
Correct.
So
It's not even. It's
now
not
it
the
could
same
be
case
three.
anymore. He's basically taking it at. He's making it into. When you originally read the Brisa of you think you're dealing with cases that are sort of adjacent to each other or they're similar, but Rav is saying no, they're not similar. Tavamam B'Shlosha is talking about a completely different case. And Tavu Nefashos B'Esrim B'Shlosha, that is the standard case that we've been talking about until now. But now he's basically making the first case a completely different case that has no connection to our Gemara. And he's basically just saying it's not a relevant question, this Meisvei, essentially, because it's talking about something completely different. Does that make sense?
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't say it's completely different, but yeah. I think now I understand it better.
Okay, then we have the third explanation, Abaye.
Abaye Amar.
So, Tekuli Alma Chashin and Laz. Everyone agrees that you are Choshe for Laz. Umishun Kodesh Rishonim, and they also agree that you should be worried about the honor of the judges. So in that case, how does Rav Meir ever say 3? Hachamayaskina can go to Asru Bei Stam. There was some kind of warning that she got. Let's see, Rashi. Abaye Amar. Ibishalo hevi edim tekuli amachoshin laz ubina eser v'shlosha. Everyone agrees that you are suspect gossip and you need 23. Dilma shami sadi v'asu umedina eser v'shlosha bereisha afilu mama v'eser v'shlosha techoshin l'chodesh harishonim.
Which Rashi are you reading?
Abaye Amar. It's like when the lines get wider, like 6 lines in.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
No, I'm trying. I'm having a.
It's 6 lines from one.
Yeah, im b'shlo hevi edim. The kula alma choshen lalaz ubeinan esrim v'shlosha. Dilma shemai sahade v'atu
Right, so maybe Sadi's Adam. So maybe the Adam will come.
Yeah, maybe because people will hear then that he doesn't have Adam, but maybe Adam will show up.
Right.
Afilu mamon be'esrim v'shlosha the choshishin l'chvodon shel rishonim. Right, so we keep the 23 because we don't want to send anybody away. V'hacha bepelugta the matnitin. Kogon shehevi edim betchilat hazmanato ledin dato leka lemichesh sahade achrini. So we wouldn't worry that there would be other witnesses in addition to the ones that he has. So there's no choshish lalaz. V'hani amri be'ape tlata the hitruba mita stam.
Interesting.
What does that mean?
I think it means that she's got some kind of warning, apitlas, like in front of 3 people, right? And she was warned that she's gonna die if she, violates this prohibition.
Velo hiskir lo hiskirla skila kedin nara ha meuresa. Right, so they didn't give a proper warning that she might be stoned to death. They only said you might be judged for death.
Right.
Rabbi Meir Savar tu leka hacha dina nafashot. So Rabbi Meir says that there's no question of dina nafashot because there wasn't a proper hatra. So you can start with 3 judges. Ubahani shlosha sagi lamida in dine mamonot, the ketuva, the kinami yuzmu yishalem me'ach kesef. That even if they were to find to be zomimin, you're still only talking about 100 kesef. V'rabanan Savre, Kevan the Atru Be Mita, since they said to her that she could be put to death. Dine Nafashas Ika. So the disagreement according to Abaye between the Rabbanan and Rabbi Meir is if you warned her that she could be put to death, but didn't say skila, whether that could possibly be considered dine nefashas if the Adam were zomamin.
Right.
Interesting. Okay. Daniel says, proving guilt or innocence here is determined by who has the most witnesses. No. Are the judges determining who's credible, and we're wrestling with the balance between confidence and privacy? Okay. So let's explain the Adam Zomamin. So there is a rule in the Bible.
Wait, first talk about Adam. First talk about witnesses.
Okay. I mean, witnesses. The Bible says you have to have witnesses.
Right. No, but the Bible says you have two witnesses, and two witnesses are equal to 100 witnesses, right?
Right. So it's not the number of witnesses; it's the groups of witnesses and whether they're credible. Okay. And there's two rules you need to be aware of. One, the witnesses need, in a capital case, the witnesses needs to have warned the transgressor of what transgression would be and what the punishment would be, right? So the witnesses would have had to say to her, if you seclude yourself with a man who is not your husband, you could be stoned to death. And they apparently made the mistake of saying you could be put to death and not saying stoned to death. And therefore, there's no question of her being put to death, right? So that's the first thing about Eidim V'Hatra is the witnesses have to actually warn the person about what they're doing, being so that we know that it was an intentional sin and they knew what they were doing and they decided to do it anyway. Second thing is there is a rule in the Bible called Eidim Zomimin, which gets translated as the conspiring witnesses. So if witnesses come to a court and they lie, what they conspired to do to the person through the court is done to them. Okay? That's called conspiring witnesses, Eidim Zomimin. And what happens is, let's say that Donnie and I go and say that we saw this woman be alone with a man who's not her husband, and we told her that you could be put to death, right? The question becomes, were we just trying to steal 100 pieces of silver from her father for saying that she wasn't a virgin? Or are we trying to get her put to death? Because if we get other witnesses come and say, no, Donnie and Jacob were streaming that day, they couldn't possibly have seen her be alone like they said, then we would be found to be conspiring witnesses. And the question is, what would be the rule against us? I think that explains the situation.
Yeah.
Daniel, go ahead and tell us if we explain the situation or not. But so now we're talking about apparently the disagreement between Rabbi Meir and the Rabbanan is if he brings two witnesses who say that we said to her she could be put to death, but we didn't say to her that she could be put to death through stoning. So could those witnesses possibly be found guilty in such a way that they would be put to death for what they did?
Right. So it says, V'hai Tanahu, Tanya, Ushar Kol Chayve Misa Shebatorah, Ein Misasan Ella Be'eda. So all the Chayve Misos in the Torah, you can't actually put someone to death without an Eda, which is the 23 judges, right? So you have to have 23 judges to put someone to death. You have to have Edim, so you have to have 2 witnesses. Vasra, you have to warn them. And you have to tell them what exactly they're liable for. So, okay. But Rabbi Yehuda says, interesting. So
Are you back in the Gemara, or are you reading from Rashi?
I'm reading from the Gemara, sorry.
Oh, okay.
So I'll go back. So it's up to Abaya Amar Dekuli Am Chashin Alaz Mishun Kodesh Yishonim Hacham Amayaskin Kagos the Asur Beistam, right? Where they warned, where they gave a general warning. The High Tana Hu the Tanya Ushar Kol Chayv Misha Shebatorah. With all times when someone is liable for death in the Torah, there's a few qualifications that can put someone to death. What are these qualifications? There has to be 2 witnesses, or sorry, there has to be 23 judges. That's the Eda. The Edim, you have to have 2 Edim. Vasra, you have to warn. The transgressor has to be warned by the 2 witnesses. And the person has to say you are going to be liable to death.
This particular one, yeah,
correct. The witnesses need to say that.
Yeah.
But Rabbi Yehuda says even further. You have to actually tell them which type of execution they will get, because there are 4 different types of executions that the Jewish court would use, or that the Bible talks about, which is strangulation, stoning, burning, and what's the 4th one?
Sword,
hanging, right? It's not hanging. It's
you said no.
So
there's hereg. Hereg is
hereg is with a sword.
With a sword, yeah.
Okay.
There's sword, strangulation, sreifa, and skila.
And Roland is saying, "Thou shalt not kill." That's a great question. Actually, there is a.
It's actually no. It doesn't say lo tarog. It says lo tirtzach. It doesn't say thou shalt not kill. It says thou shalt not murder.
True, but also I would add that somewhere in this tractate, it talks about that basically the Jewish court never basically actually executed anybody. So, which makes it even all the more fascinating that there's so many laws about it.
Well, there are so many laws about it so that there wouldn't be. Like I said, the Gospel of John says it is against our law to put any man to death.
Right. Although
it's the most correct
execution, like for example, in Navi, when Achan was executed by,
after by Moses is the most famous.
By the chopper of the wood by Moses, you're saying, yeah. Yep. Okay. Wait. So we have to answer. What do you call it? So in this case, Rabbi Meir holds that there was a general warning. And he holds like Rabbi Yehuda, I guess, right? Does that make sense? Where it needs to be a specific warning. And if there wasn't a general warning, if it was only a general warning, then he would agree that.
And the Mishnah is like the Rabbanan, which say just as long as it says mita, they don't have to say which one.
Got it. Right. So Rabbi Meir holds like Rabbi Yehuda that even though there's this major accusation, since the witnesses did not carry themselves to the full extent, now it's going to just be a monetary dispute. It's not going to be a capital case.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the 3rd explanation. So far we have Ula, Rava, and Abaye. Now we're going to have Rav Papa.
Rav Papa. Amar.
Rav Amar, Hacha be'isha chavera askinan. Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Isha chavera. What's your Rashi says? Or Rav Papa says, there's only one Rashi for Rav Papa.
Yeah.
Kedabai nami spirulay the chashin alaz l'chon sharishonim V'hacha the Amar of Meir begimel kigon shehevi edim imo betchilas hazmana soladin. So he brought the
Witnesses, yeah.
the witnesses with him. V'amru shelo hasrubei, and they said we didn't warn her. Lefisha isha chaverhi. She's like a very wise woman. She knows the laws.
She knows Torah.
Below hitzrichu, we don't need to warn her. So Rav Meir Samar alpo gav de chaverhi lo mekilta. Even though
she still can't be put to death.
Right. Hilchach lo srichan lechufe. Su esrim mishosh. Therefore, you don't need to put together the 23 judges. Ela shlosh din in mamanas teksuva. Rabbanan savri kir Rav Yossi bar Yehuda. Interesting. Oh, so the Gemara continues. The kamifically booked the Rav Yossi bar Yehuda v'Rabbanan. The Tanya. Rav Yossi bar Yehuda Omer. Chaver ein tzarich hasra. A learned person doesn't require hasra. Lefi shelo nitna hasra el lahavchin beichokin lemezid. Interesting. Oh, that's a really interesting argument.
I had never heard this.
That changes the whole dynamic of every single case, technically.
Well, kind of. A chaver is obviously held to a higher standard.
But that's really interesting because according to who is it? According to Rav Yossi bar Yehuda, you never need hasra in a case if someone's a learned person.
If somebody's a learned person.
Yeah. Crazy. So basically, me and you are always mazed because we're such learned people, me and you. Interesting. Okay. And what's else we can learn from this? You learn that a woman can be basically a very learned person and know all the
that's the chiddush. That's the chiddush.
What's this? What is it? Hebrew word ratzach refers to murder.
Don't take Roland too seriously.
You know Roland?
A lot of silly. He I don't know him. He's a troll on my channel.
He's a troll?
Yeah, he brings up all kinds of weird things.
No, but it's interesting what he's saying. I wouldn't call him a troll.
Okay.
I'm bringing out my inner chezi.
You are. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. Daniel Shalom.
Exactly. Okay, that's the first four. Now we're going to the fifth one, Rav Ashi.
I mean, obviously, I agree with him. Yes, the commandment emphasizes the sanctity of life. Very true.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Okay,
Rav Ashi Omer, Kegon, the Asur Bei Malkus, V'lo Asur Bei Katala, where you warned him about Malkus, you warned the woman about Malkus, but you didn't warn her about killing. The Kamifli B'Pukter of Rishmo V'Rabbanan, the Tanan, Malkus B'Shlosha, Mishum Rishon Amru B'Esr B'Shlosha. What in the world?
so okay, which doesn't make sense to me. Let's say somebody was doing a capital sin, and you said to them, you could get Malkus. I don't think you can give Malkus to somebody who was warned with the wrong thing. But it seems like what they're saying is Rabbi Shmuel says Malkus is with 23 anyway. You can't have a Beit Din of 3 give Malkus because a person might die. You get it?
No, I have no idea what's flying.
They warned her that she could get Malkus.
Right.
Which means lashes.
Okay.
Right? So, Rabbi Ishmael is of the opinion that all cases of Malkus have to be by 23.
Oh, okay.
So, he says it has to be 23. Not 3. And that is the disagreement they're having.
Oh, so it's an argument about whether or not you need Malkus. Okay, interesting.
No. If you need 23 for Malkus.
Okay, got it. I thought the argument was going to be, is it a good hasra or not? But clearly everyone agrees it's a good hasra. It's a good warning.
Apparently, which is crazy to me, because why would it be? Okay, I'm reading Rabbeinu Art Scroll. Shehitru ba beisha shetischayev malkut im tavor v'lo hitru bam lamita. ונמצא שאף על פי, אף לפי עדותם שזינתה, ודאי לא תתחייב מיתה שלא הייתה התראה למיתה, אלא שבאים לחייבה מלכות על הלאו שבעבירה זו, כיוון שהתרובה למלכות. So apparently whatever, so she could receive, because that was what they warned her could happen, then maybe Beit Din would say, this is a law that requires lashes, and give her lashes.
Right.
So that's why there's this disagreement.
So let's see Rashi at the top. The Asur Malchus lo Asur Katala. The Havadai lo Mikilta Eloka. You're definitely not going to kill her, but rather give her lashes. The Ein Lecha Mises Bezdin Shelo Nemar Bolav. There's no Mises Bezdin Shelo Nemar Bolav. I don't know what that means.
Anything that you could get a capital, in order for it to be a capital crime, the Bible also has to tell you not to do it. And when you go against anything in the Bible, automatically there's
automatically a case of Malchus, essentially.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because Savar Lav Shanisim Lazar's Mises Bezdin Lokin Alav. Ki Asur Be Malchus Velo Katala. But what about so if I'm Chayiv Misa for something, I'm not also going to get Malchus, though, right?
No. So you do whatever is the most chamor.
Oh, right. What is that phrase? What is that called? Oh,
I forget.
It's like a famous yeshivish phrase. How could I forget this?
Because you haven't been in yeshiva for a while.
Oh no, it's going to drive me crazy. All right. Oh well.
You can ask Rabbeinu Grok when we're done.
No, I'm going to ask my friend. I'm not going to ask Grok. I'm going to text one of my friends to remind me what it is. It's like a phrase. Oh, well. I'll remember after. Or I'll ask someone after, rather. Okay. Now we're up to Ravina. We got a 6th argument here. But wait, we have to wait for Roland first. Hold on a second. What he's saying is true, but let's do ad hominem policy nonetheless. Okay. Capital punishment.
Told you he's a troll.
Prescribe the death penalty for various offenses, suggesting as a distinction between legal execution and forbidden murder.
Correct.
Cool. Roland's on fire. He's definitely not a troll. He's absolutely on fire.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Okay. Ravina Amar. Do you want to keep going, or there's a few more? It's up to you.
Ravina, where are we?
Ravina Amar. It is 4 lines from the top.
4 line on Tess Amud Aleph.
Amud Aleph.
Why am I not seeing a Ravina? Ravina. Okay. Okay. Amar Ravina Amar Kugon Shenimtza Echad Min Ha'edim Karov O Pasul Ukemifili Bepulukta the Rebbe Yossi Verebi Aliba the Rebbe Akiva the Tanan Rebbe Akiva Omer Lo Ba Shlishi Eila Lahachmir Alav Lasot Dino Kiyotza Be'elu. Okay, so let's say you have 3 witnesses,
right?
And one of them ends up being puzzle. So according to Rabbi Akiva, the entire group is puzzle, and that's actually the halacha. The actual halacha is the entire group becomes puzzle, but Rabbi Akiva is saying no, that's only a stringency, and the other 2 witnesses can be accepted. I think.
What about you, love? The mention of the Lazadino Kase. Oh. Wait.
Rashi lo bashlishi the mamashma shneimar al pi shnaim edim yakum kol sheken shlosha lama nemar o shlosha edim ela lahachmir alav ליתן חומר בעדי שקר ששלישי זה.
Oh,
So actually, I guess, the din is according to Rabbi Akiva. That all of them are puzzle. אף על פי שלא היה זה נידון על פיו למיתה שהרי בשניים שהעידו תחילה, נמי היה נידון, אפילו הכי עשה הכתוב את דינו כיוצא באלו שאם הוזמו יהרג, אף השלישי מפני שנטפל לעוברי עבירה. Okay,
Wow.
so if they're found to be conspiring, even the third one who was found to be puzzle would be also put to death because he got himself involved in their sins.
Right. So did we yet explain how this connects?
I mean, they're trying to explain in what case you end up with edine nafashos, right?
Oh, we didn't get to what Rabbi Meir says. I think we have to get to. Wait, I'm not sure. Wait, it says bepukta karav Yossi, v'Rabbi Aliba d'Rabbi Akiva.
What are Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Meir? What are the Rabbanan and Rabbi Meir disagreeing on? You have a case where you had 3 Adam, one of them was found puzzle, and then they were found to be Zomamin, and the question becomes:
does
the third guy get put to death?
And how does that connect to our machlokas between Rabbi Meir?
So if the third one can't be put to death, then it's not dinei nefashos, so you only need 3. But
okay.
if he can be put to death,
you need 23. Okay.
Then you need 23.
Even though we haven't seen the other opposing argument yet from Ricky. We only have seen Rabbi Akiva's opinion so far. Correct?
Well, this is Rabbi Akiva. No. So, we're saying that Rabbi Meir and the Rabbanan are disagreeing regarding Rabbi Akiva's opinion regarding the third aid.
Okay. That's not what we did in every other one, though. In every other one till now, we've shown two different rabbis arguing with each other, and then we paired up the rabbis. So I'm just saying, if you're wrong, you could be wrong about this. I'm just saying.
Me being wrong about a Gemara never happened.
Could be. We'll see. Let's keep going.
I've never been wrong about a Gemara in my life. Shlishi ela lahachmela lasot dino kiyotze be'elu. Im ken ana shekatuv et hanitfal.
Little Musser's about to come. I like this.
Over aver al achat kama v'kama sheishalem schar et hanitfal le'osei mitzvah ki. Oh, okay, osei mitzvah. That's cute. That is cute. Umash nine.
You can't call something Akiva says is cute.
Why can't I call it cute? It's very cute. Everything Rabbi Akiva said was cute. Umash Naim, especially calling Bar Kokhba Mashiach, that was very cute.
He says that?
Rabbi Akiva famously was Nosei Kelev of Bar Koziba. You didn't know this?
It says it in the Gemara, or is it like
that what?
That's what happened?
That he was Nosei Kelev of Bar Koziba. Yeah.
Not familiar. No, not familiar.
Most famous case of mistaken messianism in Jewish history.
I'm glad I'm getting educated.
So I have to tell you the diuk of the Brisker Rav. So apparently a Christian came to the Brisker Rav and said to him, your rabbis don't know what they're doing because Rabbi Akiva said that Bar Koziba was Mashiach, and obviously he wasn't Mashiach. So the Brisker Rav said, how do you know that Bar Koziba isn't Mashiach? And the Christian says, Of course he's not Mashiach. He died.
There you go. There you go.
This is supposedly a story told of the Brisker Rav.
That's funny.
No.
That's funny. Okay. Umashnayim nimsa echad mehem karav apostle. Eidas Batela. So their whole Eidas becomes, when you find the third one is bad, then the whole group goes bad. Av Shlosha Nimsa Echa Mehem Karav Apostle, Eidas Batela.
Uminayin Shafilu Mea, Talmud Lomar, Eidim.
Uminayin Shafilu Mea, Talmud Lomar, Eidim. Okay.
Amar Rabbi Yossi, b'madavar mamurim, bedina nefasha, aval, bedina mamanot, titkayem, edut b'shar.
So this is the Mahalokas. And Rabbi Omer, Echadini Mavas, Echadini Nefashas, Ve'emasai, Bizman Hisr Behem, Aval Bizman Shalo Hisr Behem, Mayasu Shnei Achim, Ve'echat Jaro, Ve'echat Shahargas Nefesh. Oh my gosh, it's getting way too complicated.
Ma ya'asu shnei achim echad sharau be'echad sheharag nefesh v'boy ema. So you have two brothers and a third person who saw that somebody killed somebody.
Right.
V'boy ema kagon shahatru ba acherim v'lo hatru ba edim. So other people warned them, and the witnesses themselves weren't the ones who warned them. Miflagi beplukta the Rabbi Yossi v'Rabbanon. The Tanan Rabbi Yossi Omer leolam einu nehareg ad she you pishnei edav.
This is already the next. This is already number 7. Anybody saying is going to say another answer? That's going to be explanation number 7. We just finished explanation number 6. But we can stop here and continue next week on this.
Yeah, and try to figure out where we were. Where'd you get that there's 8 of them?
Art Scroll.
Oh, Rabbeinu Art Scroll. If it wasn't for Rabbeinu Art Scroll, we would know nothing.
Well, it's like what Shlomo. What did they say about Shlomo Melech, King Solomon?
What did they say?
He gave the handles to the Torah. Like his analogies provided the handles for the Torah. That's Art Scroll.
That's Rabbeinu Art Scroll, apparently.
Okay, wait. We have to finish up the comments. I like Donnie. He has sense. I like Donnie too. Let's see what else he says. All theological jurisprudence debates need settled by naked mud wrestling contests. Okay. Is Jim? I have no idea what this means.
I.e., gymnosophists.
Oh, I don't even know. I don't. I know it's so. I know Sophia because I'm a Rakian. I know what Sophia means. That's all I know.
You don't know who sophists were?
I know the sophists. I know the sophists.
Okay, so gymnosophists, people who take it to the gymnasium.
Got it.
Got it.
Very cool.
Okay.
All right.
Pesach is coming up. You realize that?
I know. I gotta start learning Hilchos Pesach.
I was shocked. Costco was stocking Shmura Matzah before Purim. Can you believe it?
That's how it's supposed to be. Lost Lavo, they're gonna start stocking matzah all year round.
Shmura Matzah the entire year? Could be.
That's the gula. That's what's good.
when Costco has Shmura Matzah year round.
Exactly.
Okay, my dear people. Later.
Take care. Bye.